Hey there Expo TV, I'm TJ and right now I'm reviewing a black Nintendo Gamecube controller. This controller looks very much unlike most other controllers that have been released over the past decade or so. It has two little kind of nubs sticking out here, with one with the D-pad and one with the C-stick. Now, the Gamecube controller is probably the least comfortable controller to hold out of the last generation controllers, but if you do own a Gamecube, this is probably the controller you're going to want, because the Wavebirds are much bulkier and much more expensive, and pretty much all the third-party controllers that have come out for GameCube are garbage. So I would really recommend that you get a first-party Nintendo GameCube controller. Some problems I have with this controller are the non-standard button layout, with the giant A button and the B, X, and Y button around it kind of hovering there. That's not really symmetrical at all. Some of the third-party controllers have them in a more symmetrical pattern, but they have much shoddier analog sticks, and it doesn't really work that well. Another problem is that the C-stick feels really different from the other analog stick, and most games use these as like, this stick will move, this stick will look around. And if you're used to playing on PS2 or Xbox, these two sticks have exactly the same resistance, but the C-stick is kind of an octagonal, like, little circle that's in, and this is a real circle. And it's gonna get, it's not the worst thing in the world, but if you play a lot of first-person shooters, it is gonna start to annoy you. You're gonna want to start playing more Xbox and PS2 after you start, if you're playing first-person shooters. Another problem I have is the L and R buttons. They're kind of mushy, and then they have a click to them. Most of the other controllers of last gen, they would just click and it would be perfect, or they have triggers like the Xbox. These mushy L and R buttons, I really don't like them. They don't work very well, especially for shooting games. So I'm saying that the Nintendo GameCube controller is possibly the worst controller ever to come out for first-person shooter games. But for other games, standard platforming games, Super Mario Sunshine, Zelda Wind Waker, there's really no problem with this. And if you have a Nintendo GameCube, this is the best possible controller you could pick up. The cord's about 6 feet long, which isn't really long enough if you have a huge TV and you have a huge den. But controller cables, extension cables are about $5, so figure it's going to be cheaper to get an extension cable and a wireless controller anyway. And the first-party Nintendo GameCube controller is the only controller that I would recommend for your Nintendo GameCube. Thanks.